Frank is 23 years old. Frank is the protagonist of this short story. Frank lives in the outskirts of New York and he works as a taxi driver. He drives his mom's taxi. Frank has a dark history. In the past month, he's killed three of his customers. The reason why he kills them is because he steals their money. He uses this money to help his family who struggle. They're a struggling family and they're in need. So this is one way Frank tries to help them. Frank is tonight. Frank is off. He's taking the night off, and he suddenly gets a call from work. They're asking him to please work the night shift. Frank doesn't think about it twice. He replies, "Yes, I will do it. I want to work the night shift." And right there, he's thinking about killing another person that night. He needs the money, and he wants to go out and kill another person. So he gets ready. He goes out to his taxi and starts driving around. 30 minutes after he starts driving, he finds this young lady. She seems to be in need of a ride, so she stops the taxi. She's welcomed by him. They both say hi to each other, and then she gives him directions to where they need to go. Fran has the tendency of taking his victims to this empty street in the middle of nowhere where there is no people, there is no cars, there is no houses. It is the perfect place for him to commit his crimes. So he starts driving there. As soon as they get there, Frank pulls out his gun, turns around, and points the gun at her. To his surprise, he recognizes the face he's looking at. It is the face of Sarah. Sarah is his friend. She lives in the same building as Frank. And Sarah looks surprised and asks right away, what are you doing? Why are you trying to kill me?" To which Frank has no reply. He has no answer for this. All he's thinking right now is, what do I do? Do I just kill her? Do I just let her be free, or do I kidnap her? Do I take her somewhere? Frank decides to go for the last one. He decides to kidnap her. He doesn't want to hurt her. He just wants her to be quiet, to not say anything about what he is doing. So he tells her what's going to happen. She cries a lot. She's very scared. And they start driving. Frank is taking her to an old apartment that he bought a while ago that no one knows about. So on their way there, Frank drives and he gets to a red light. Right when he's at the red light, he gets a call from his mom. He picks up the phone and she's asking, "How's the night going? How's everything going?" Frank starts talking to her, explaining to her how everything is. And Sarah in the rear seat sees this as a good opportunity to escape. Sarah tries unlocking the door, but it doesn't work. The doors are locked from the outside, so all she's making is this clicking noise of a door. Frank hears this. He hangs up the phone and he tells her, "What are you doing? You're just trying. You're just making things hard for you." He doesn't want to hurt her, but if she continues with this behavior, it may end up bad for her. So she keeps crying, keeps being scared, not knowing what's going to happen. Frank continues to drive to the destination. When they get there, they see this old building where his apartment is. They get out of the car, they enter the building, go up to the second floor, and he starts showing her where the place, how the place where she's going to be for the next few days is going to look like. She looks surprised to see how old everything is. There is nothing around. She doesn't even know if there's a restroom in there. There's no beds, there's no furniture, there's nothing. Frank has to leave. He has to continue working and looking for another victim because he doesn't want to hurt Sarah. So he gets some handcuffs. He handcuffs puts the handcuffs on her and handcuffs her to one of the poles that are on his house, so she doesn't escape. He tells her that he'll be back in the morning, and he leaves. Sarah, she, as I mentioned before, she's very scared. She doesn't know what to expect from Frank because this behavior is very different to what she's used to see on him. So she decides to plan her escape. There's nothing she can do while he's not there because there's nothing enough for her to break the handcuffs. So she starts thinking on what to do. So her plan is to wait for him in the morning and tell him a lie and try to hit him somehow. So she stays in the place where she is. She falls asleep. Then morning comes. Frank shows up to the apartment. Sarah is asking for a restroom. She needs to use the restroom. Frank tells her that the only one is downstairs. Frank takes the handcuffs off of Sarah. She uses the restroom, and as she's using the restroom, she's thinking of what to use to hit him. So she gets a hang of some kind of stick, wood stick that she's gonna use to hit him. She gets out of the bathroom, and as he's looking out the window, she hits Frank with the stick in the back of his head. He falls down. He's unconscious. She uses this moment to steal his phone and call the police. She tells them what's going on. She tells him where her location is, and the police people tell her that they'll be there soon. Uh, Frank still lays there, unconscious and waiting to see what's going to happen. Sarah waits for the police. As soon as the police arrive, she tells them what happened. She's not injured, but she's very scared and she's very optimistic that how the things will develop. The police decides to take Frank to the police station, where he seems to be going to spend a lot of time. So Sarah's happy now that she can go back to her 3-year-old son.